If you're trying to cut out vices, this is the complete guide to cut them out. This is the only video that you need to watch. Pay attention to this video. Be where your feet are. Be present with me and take action on this video, and you'll be well on the road to cutting out your vices for good. Whether your vices are porn, nicotine, weed, alcohol, TV, Netflix, social media scrolling way too much, staying up late, hitting snooze, eating junk food, overeating, stress eating, laziness, or procrastination, this video will cover everything. Understand that the most important part is self-talk. Self-talk is the way that you talk to yourself. It is the thoughts in your head, the relationship with yourself. Now, this is not a wishy-washy, spiritual, lovey-dovey, zodiac sign type of video. I'm going to make it practical. I'm going to make it in a way that you as a dude or as a woman can understand this and apply it to your own life. This won't get all star, air, fairy, dusty, and all that jazz. Just understand that you are not your self-talk. You are simply the person that is aware of your self-talk. You have self-talk throughout the day. It is the thoughts in your head that are the instant responses to certain reactions. Like waking up, the self-talk is pretty negative, right? As soon as you're hitting the alarm, I normally have like depressive thoughts as soon as I wake up. Don't get up, stay inside. All that is self-talk, right? All those voices are self-talk. Now you have positive self-talk and you have negative self-talk. Positive self-talk is kind of like the angel on your shoulder, the inner champ, the inner winner, your intuition, your gut. Your negative self-talk is the inner critic, the negative self-talk, the inner bitch, the inner loser, the one that talks you out of situations that you really want to put yourself in, but the anxiety, the fear, the emotions, the overwhelm, you start feeling them, and then the negative self-talk, the negative voices kick in, and then it talks you out of them. Examples of positive self-talk. Positive self-talk is usually based on the action that you're taking. So you crush today's workout. You're learning better form. You put yourself out there even though you were scared. She wants you to come talk to her. Go for it. Yeah, the business is scary to start, but anything worth it is going to be a little scary. Dude, you've been doing good on your diet, and you know you shouldn't go out on Friday night because you got to work out early Saturday morning, and you do got to meal prep later. So let's make sure that we stick to that habit because you've been doing so well on it. Negative self-talk is, yeah, but you're not losing weight. Yeah, you've been doing good for a month, but you're not really making a change in your body. Yeah, you're uploading content, but it's not getting much views. Yeah, you're doing better in this thing, but you still haven't made any money off of it yet. You just relapsed back in your old habits. Your negative self-talk will say, see, you can't do this. It's not for you. It doesn't matter that you were drinking alcohol every single day last month and only drank like 10 out of 30 days this month. It doesn't matter. Quitting alcohol is not for you. You shouldn't go talk to her. She's going to direct you. She's busy. You've given up before. You've never really committed to anything before in your life. You're going to give up again. Same situation, different self-talk leads to different actions. If you listen to positive self-talk, you will take a different action. If you listen to negative self-talk, you will take a different action. If you build up consistency throughout the day, as soon as you wake up, you listen to negative self-talk that says, hey, hit the snooze button. And then you're trying to follow a diet and the negative self-talk says, just, have a little bit of sweetener with your coffee. Go for something sweet instead of just a regular black coffee. Now you're strengthening negative self-talk. Now you're building up momentum in that direction. And now midday hits 10 a.m., 12 p.m., 2 p.m. It's so hard to do the right thing, to stay to an action-based routine that can help you hit your goals because you're building up the negative momentum. But the more you listen to positive momentum, throughout the day and throughout days and weeks, you strengthen that side, and the automatic response is the positive side. The reason the negative self-talk feels so strong, feels like you are the negative self-talk, you are the craving, whatever your voice tells you in your head about eating that thing, you have to eat the thing. The reason it feels so strong is because you've strengthened it throughout your entire life. You've had this problem, or you've had this problem for months and years, giving into the impulses, giving into temptations, giving into instant gratification. We live in an instant gratification society. So if it feels strong, if it feels like it's you, just understand it's not, and you are simply the person that is aware of the negative self-talk. You have strengthened the negative self-talk so much for years, you are simply the person aware of your self-talk. That's what you have to understand. Bring awareness to your self-talk throughout the day. This is not just you watch this video and you understand it. You have to ingrain this concept into your head. How you speak to yourself about your addiction and your vices, it changes everything. It changes everything. How you talk to yourself is so important. You have to measure progress the right way. For example, I'm cutting out energy drinks right now. I'm cutting out chewing gum, and I'm doing no seasonings on my food, super bland, just salt. Just see how far I can push my discipline. And the negative self-talk, it made me drink coffee past 9 a.m. Originally, it was only 9 a.m. And then it was 12:45 was the latest I drank it. And the excuse was, hey, well, I already filled my cup. I don't want to waste it, so I might as well drink a little more coffee. And it was 3 days in where I caught myself and I was like, dude, the original day, the habit was no coffee past 9 a.m. And now I'm back to 12:45. So I caught myself thinking like that, giving into justifications, and now it's back to 11. 11 is an appropriate time for black coffee only. Still cutting out energy drinks, still cutting out gum, still cutting out any added sugar, processed ingredients, anything. So how you speak to yourself matters. And if I get down on that, if I don't hold myself accountable to that, if I tell myself like, hey, it's not for me, it's just not going to happen. You got to be able to measure progress the right way. If you tell yourself like things like, I can't quit, I will after this batch, next week, beginning of next month, this is my last cheat meal, understand that the craving feels so hard in the moment, and the moment is what matters. In the moment of you beating that craving, experiencing that craving, that's what matters. You have to defeat the craving in that moment, because it's so easy to put it off until later. Tomorrow, later today, next week, next month, later. I'll do it later. But understand, if you beat the craving in that exact moment that you're facing it, you will become stronger. It's so easy to say later because you don't have to face that right now, but you need to face that right now because that's how you get stronger. All of this is saying I can't quit now. But what you need to do is throw it out mid-batch, man. Throw it out mid-alcoholic drink. Throw it out mid-nicotine stick where you just refilled it. Throw it out halfway through the cheat food meal. Throw it out halfway through. It's okay. You don't have to finish the thing. You don't have to wait. You can literally make change right now because that's when change happens. Change doesn't happen later. Later is an imaginary concept. Later, whenever later comes, there's going to be another later. So you need to you need to change your brain to I'm done today, I quit. Right now is when that change will happen. Right now as I'm experiencing the craving, I will not give in to this craving. There's no such thing as later. You need to stop having that mindset. Let's understand the timeline when it comes to quitting your vices. When it comes to quitting your vices, understand that on the Y chart we have joy and motivation. On the X chart we have months. So that first month is pretty tough. First, you're going to experience fear before you quit the vice, and then excitement, and then the detox phase where you absolutely just drop, and then you have the mind games start kicking in, month 1 to month 3. You have the inability to feel joy or pleasure from normal life. You have something called pink cloud syndrome where everything feels okay. It feels like, dude, I got rid of the vice, I have control of it now, I can go back to it. But that's another cope. And then you have staying strong, which is months 3 and forward. Let's get into it. And the reason this timeline is so important, if you can understand this timeline, then you know what phases are coming up. You know what levels are coming up. You know the unexpected. If you can expect that it's going to be hard, if you expect something is coming, it's a lot less surprising and you can manage yourself through it. So levels 1 to 7, to beat this vice, take it one level at a time. Okay, don't worry that you're not at the next level. Understand the levels here and know what to expect. And you just have to keep moving through the levels. So level 1 is day 0, before you quit the vice. It's fear, it's anxiety, it's overwhelm. You've probably thought about quitting your vice before, maybe you've tried it, but before you've tried cutting it out, it's been fear and anxiety and overwhelm. What's gonna happen if this happens and that happens? What if I hang out with my friends and they have it? What if I get stressed out one day and I just need this thing? What am I gonna rely on? What if I can't be perfect with my routine? What if I can't cut it out for the rest of my life? Can I actually do it? I mean, I've quit everything else before in my life. Can I actually do it? Ask yourself, what if I don't quit? You need to ask yourself, what if you don't quit? Not what if I quit this vice? What if you don't quit? What's your life gonna look like 3, 6, 12, 24 months from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now? These vices, nicotine, weed, alcohol, they corrupt your life. Laziness, procrastination prevents you from doing the work that's going to move you forward and get you to a job that you want to, getting into a shape that you want to. The food, the laziness, the procrastination. So what's going to happen if you can't quit this vice? Well, you're going to spend the rest of your life in a body that you don't want to be in poor health and poor energy, which eventually is going to catch up to you in when you're 40, 50, 60, 70. You're not going to get the career you want. You're not going to live the fulfilling life you want. And really dive deep into the pain of what's going to happen if you keep experiencing this vice and keep putting it off until later. What's your family going to look like? How are you going to be as a role model for the people around you, for your kids, for your partner? You can be a terrible role model if you're giving into these vices right here. Cutting out a vice isn't about what you're losing, it's about what you're gaining. Life, prosperity, confidence, health, energy, pride. When I was cutting out nicotine, I experienced a lot of hardship when I was cutting out nicotine, a lot of justifications, a lot of excuses, a lot of times I quit and then went back to it. And I always thought about what I was losing every time I quit. Oh, I'm losing the ability to experience this with my friends. I'm losing the stress relief. It's so easy. The juice just makes me feel so good. I'm losing the nicotine. But my mindset, I shifted it eventually into something that helped me quit, which is, what am I gaining? I'm getting the ability to not have to go to a bathroom every 15 minutes to hit this old nicotine stick. I'm getting the ability to be able to handle and cope with stress without this nicotine. I'm getting the ability to not spend so much money on vapes. I'm getting the independence to just be okay with myself in the present moment, completely enjoying life without the dependence of a substance. Let's move on to level 2. Level 2 is day 1 to 2. It's excitement. So it's the first 24 to 48 hours, could be that first week. Just be prepared and understand that you're in this phase. Be prepared for what's coming next. Because what's coming next is a whole lot of negative emotions, cravings. We'll get into it. You need to set up your environment for success here about what's gonna happen in the following days. You don't go down the same roads that reminds you of the vice. You don't go down the same roads of the smoke shop, of the Taco Bell, of the McDonald's, of the place that reminds you of the vice. You change up your environment. You change anything in your daily routine. You start a morning routine. You boost yourself with good levels of dopamine, good things that boost your dopamine, good sleep, whole food nutrition, sunlight, socializing, exercise. Understand that when you cut out vice, a lot of the dopamine is going to be drastically missing. So you need to do the things that set a healthy dopamine baseline, which are these 5 right here, the bottom 5. You need to change anything in your daily routine. There was this book I was reading. It mentioned something so simple about just knocking someone out of addiction, not instantly, but it's a good habit to implement, of putting on your right shoe instead of your left shoe first, or left shoe instead of right shoe. Because as soon as you go throughout the day, as soon as you wake up, you're going through the motions. You're going through your subconscious routine of everything that you do on a daily basis. You wake up the same side out of bed, you get up the same way, you get your coffee first, brush your teeth, and then you start your day in the same exact manner. If you can break something out of that cycle, it snaps something in your brain and it breaks you out of that loop that you're in, the subconscious loop, and you're like, whoa, okay. There's an element of, whoa, what just happened here? Okay, this is out of my cycle. So doing that, I don't know, it's something so small, but it teaches your brain that, whoa, change is possible. This is what change feels like, as small as it is. Level 3, now this is the detox, okay? Level 3, day 3 to 7, whether it's weed, nicotine, alcohol, TV, Netflix, junk food, porn, staying up late, snoozing, overeating, or binging. These are the withdrawal symptoms that you can experience when you're detoxing off of those substances. Depression, low mood, anxiety, boredom, horniness, sweating, sickness, cravings, hunger, unhappiness, irritability, resistant to change, just not feeling ready for the change, feeling like, no, I should go back to my old ways. I'm not ready yet. I got to keep doing this thing before I commit to this thing. Justifications, excuses. Understand that you will experience most of these, some of these, maybe all of these, depending on the vice, depending on how long you've had it. So if you can expect this to hit you like a truck, then you're less likely to crumble when these things actually hit you. That's the thing, man. A lot of people quit their vices for like 1 day, 2 days, start a habit for 1 day, 2 days. They mess up on the second day. They really mess up on the third day. And then day 4, they're back to square zero. But if you can understand that you're going to experience this detox coming off of it and just be ready for it and boost your dopamine through those naturally healthy methods and set up your environment for success, you're setting yourself up for the long run, man. That's how you win. That's how you win with this stuff, is structure and guidance and accountability and preparation. You can quit this vice. 100%. I've cut out everything out of my life, even the little things like seasonings on foods. You can quit this, man. Understand that you're going to experience hard cravings. You're going to experience like it's so right to go back to this vice. You're going to wonder like, how long can I actually keep this up? I can't do this forever. I can't do this for 10 weeks. I can't do this for 100 days. How long can I keep it up? If you're having these symptoms or these cravings or these thoughts, then you're in the right direction. Understand that that's a positive sign of you quitting out this vice. Withdrawal symptoms are good. They are positive. They are addiction leaving the body. Frame it as that. Don't frame it as, oh, I got to experience this thing and I got to go back to it. Otherwise, I'm going to keep experiencing this withdrawal symptom and it hurts, the headaches hurt. No, that is addiction leaving the body. That's what it feels like for your brain to unwire and rewire. It's okay. That's part of the process. It's a good thing. These are signs to success. Level 4, week 1 to month 2, mind games. You will start to doubt yourself. This is when the real mind games start coming into play because you got past that first week, second week, third week. Now you're in week 1, month 2. the mind games will come into play. Be prepared for the mind games. Be prepared for your brain to talk you out of it so much. You will start to doubt yourself. Hard cravings, porn, nicotine, junk food. The harder the vice was, the more harder the cravings you're going to experience. The longer you've been doing it, the harder the cravings are going to be. Your brain will try to trick you. Your brain is so smart. It wants to stay comfortable. It wants to have its habits that's built up over time. It doesn't want to change. Change takes work. Change takes effort, and your brain wants to survive. It doesn't want to expend effort. It wants to hold on to it for its survival mechanisms. For anything that you necessarily, your body has to do to survive, it will save energy for that. So it does not want you to do these things. That's why it's talking you out of these things. That's why it talks you out of a deficit. You will have thoughts like, I've proven to myself I don't really need it, therefore now I can do it in moderation, which is bullshit. If you haven't gone 100+ days, or at least a year even, I want to say a good year, then you have not proven shit, man. You got to go 100 days at least without this thing. A week is not a lot. 2 weeks is not a lot. 4 weeks is not a lot. Even 2 months, man. 100 days. That is commitment. That's a sign of commitment. Stressful life events happen. You can't, because throughout 100 days, what happens is stressful life events happen. Something can happen at work, or your personal life, or your relationships, or anything can happen, and that stress from that can set you back into the vice. But if you go through the 100 days and you fight off those stresses and with the natural coping mechanism, just literally the power of your own brain, and you adapt to it, that's where you become stronger. If you are a slave to the stresses that come up in life and you have to go back to a vice, you do not have full control. You gotta let something stressful hit you that normally you would give into the vice, something really, really tough where you experience a lot of justifications and it's so right to give into it, and you say no in that moment. That's what develops that mental strength. Another one is maybe you mess up once. I have a lot of people start their fitness journey and they mess up their meal prep once, and they listen to negative mindset. Oh, if you did this wrong, then might as well do this wrong and this wrong and this wrong. And you gotta cut that out, right? But that's the negative mindset. And you're going to face that. You might face that throughout this next 3 months, 6 months, 12 months of you doing this thing. You're going to face that negative mindset. You might mess up once or twice. But you have to develop the ability to get back on track ASAP, because everyone messes up. It's not about falling off the routine. It's about how quickly you get back on track. Level 5, week 1 to month 2, another thing you will experience is anhedonia. It is the inability to feel joy or pleasure from normal life. Life just kind of feels meh. It doesn't feel like life is really that fun, or your habit is that bad to go back to. Bring awareness to the fact that we are in this level. Understand with time, we will get back to making your normal routine extremely enjoyable. We just have to let your brain's dopamine levels recover. Understand that you've had this vice for such a long time. You've developed joy and pleasure with this vice. It's kind of like breaking up with someone significant that you've spent a lot of time with. There's gonna be a phase where you just have to break off from that person, and it's gonna be a low point because you've spent so much time with this person. You've kind of lost yourself with this person, and you have to find yourself again, right? You have to enjoy your own habits, enjoy your own routine, enjoy being by yourself, and that takes a little bit of time. It's not gonna come back instantly. Those are emotions that you built up, and now it's not there anymore. Your brain learned to adapt, and just like anything, you just have to give it time and stay on the right path. That's all you gotta do. So what can give you hope in here is week 1 to month 2, going through anhedonia and the mind games, is just push through. You just have to push through these levels to get to the next level, okay? Don't listen to your brain. Don't listen to your emotions. You know what the right action is. Don't give in to justifications. Level 6, month 1 through month 6, is pink cloud syndrome. Pink cloud syndrome is when there's pink clouds in the sky. Everything feels daisy. Everything feels amazing. It feels like you finally beat this thing. It feels like you got full control over your life again. You're experiencing highs in life and everything feels great again. I cut out the nicotine. I cut out the weed. I cut out the porn. I cut out all these bad habits, and I'm on track to, I don't feel controlled by them anymore. But understand that you're in pink cloud syndrome, where the old mindset and the old cravings are still lingering, and you still have to push hard here, because a lot of people cut things out for 3 months and then go back to it, cut things out for 4 months and then go back to it. And you immediately regret it as soon as it happens. Your past mindset and cravings are still lingering. You might have the thought of, I'm feeling really good right now and I have it under control. I want to do the device and feel even better. I was on a date last night, and normally I felt pretty good. It felt nice to relax after a long few weeks of just working, not really going out there, not really taking a break, just sleep, routine, that's all it was. And it felt nice to relax and spend time with a girl. But she was eating food. I ate my meal prep. I showed up, got my cardio in, didn't give in to, didn't eat anything, just drank water. And I was feeling pretty good after. We went back home and we had a little bit of fun. And in the back of my head was like, dude, I finally have this food thing under control. I finally can have this craving thing under control. Might as well enjoy a few fruits and berries. I might as well enjoy a little bit of almond butter, right? My brain was talking me into these things. And it had this thought, I'm feeling really good right now. I want to do the vice and feel even better because I finally have control of it. But that's pink cloud syndrome. It's pink cloud syndrome. I understand that in this level, you just have to keep going and understand that we're at the home stretch, okay? We're not done. We're at the home stretch. Last inning of the game. We just got to push through. Level 7, month 3 to 1 year is staying strong, staying real strong. Because then it will feel like you beat all these other levels. You've gone past this. You feel like you finally have control. And understand that you're not done. The vice will not make you... Understand that if you give back into the vice will not make you feel that good. You feel better without the vice. I've gotten to a point now I don't want to go back. I experience cravings and everything. And all I know is, because I've been through it so many times, is I'm going to go to bed and think, dude, why did I do that thing? I'm going to do the craving, eat the craving, do the craving. And I'm going to think, dude, why did I do that? It was a momentary pleasure, and I've built up a discipline for so long of not giving into this. I should have just kept it. My mouth is watering right now just thinking about food. That vice will not make you feel that good. You feel better without it. Right now, you might be wondering, when can I go back to having this vice? If you get 1 year in and you follow the right routine and you do the good dopamine boosting habits and you set goals and you attack them, understand that you won't be asking that question. 99% of the time, you will not be asking that question because you will start enjoying normal life again. You won't want to go back. Besides the momentary cravings that I get still of going back to my old routine, but I know deep down I don't. I like the discipline. I like waking up lean. I like waking up jacked. I'm not jacked yet. I wouldn't say jacked. I would say have some muscle. I like waking up lean with muscle and attacking my goals and thinking, dude, the previous days I've been knocking it out, full discipline mode. Consider changing up friends, environment, etc. Like a year plus, you're going to form a new identity, and your friends, your environment should correlate with your values that you have. If you value not vaping, not smoking weed, no alcohol, no junk food, your health, your fitness, if you value these things, then your friends should be a direct resemblance of your values as well. You should spend time with people who have the same values that you do. Not, it's fun to hang out with them. It's so much better to hang out with people who value the same things that you do. Learning from your relapses. Okay, so let's talk about how to learn from your relapses. Big thing here is to not have negative self-talk around the relapse. Dudes will go good for a month, go good for 2 months, go good for 3 months, and they'll go from month 0 where they're doing the vice 30 days out the month. Let's just say smoking weed every single day. Then month 1, they'll get to 20 days of smoking weed. Month 3, month 2, 10 days of smoking it. Month 3, 7 days of smoking it. And they're like, dude, I just can't cut out this thing. Whether it's going from month 0 to 1 to 2 to 3. Dude, I can't cut out this thing. You get so intertwined with the momentary action that you took and not thinking, dude, this week compared to last week as a whole, today compared to yesterday, this month compared to last month, how much improvement have I made? Yeah, you gave into the vice and you went 7 days clean, but the last week, dude, you were doing it every single day. Do you not understand that? Positive self-talk, having positive self-talk. Sorry, I just blanked out there for a second. The lack of caffeine and energy drinks is getting to me, and the cut is hitting hard. But not having negative self-talk around the vice, measuring progress the right way, it is so important. Having a what, where, why, and when. Having a game plan. If you give into the relapse, ask yourself, what time did the relapse happen? Well, my caffeine relapse happened at 12:45, even though the cutoff started at 9 a.m., then got pushed back to 12 p.m., then got pushed back to 12:45. Okay, why did it happen? Well, I just wanted more caffeine, and it was right there, and I wanted to have more energy throughout the day. What did you do in your day leading up to that? Well, I was working on my laptop. I was in a deep workflow. What was your thought process when it happened? Well, it's okay if I drink it because I need to finish the cup, and I won't refill it past 12 p.m. How could you have done this differently? Well, I could have a hard cutoff at 11 a.m. no matter how much is left in the glass, and I need to monitor sleep to make sure it's still well. so I have energy throughout the day. Cool, those are my action steps, and that's how I'm gonna form a game plan around this vice compared to just mindlessly, oh, I gave into it, tomorrow I'll try not to give into it. It's not try, it's not I'll do my best, it will happen. Bask in the regret. Learning from your relapses, bask in the regret. Sit there at the morning, dude, fuck, I told myself I wasn't gonna do it, and I did it. Why? I shouldn't have done it. Dude, I can't keep doing that. That's not okay. Let yourself feel a little bit bad about that. Don't just hype yourself up with some positive, wish-washy self-talk bullshit. And also, don't just forget about it. Don't just choose to forget about it. Oh, it's not that important. No. Bring awareness to your habits. Have a daily reflection where you look back on the previous day, the previous week, and think, okay, what habits did I set? What are my goals for that week? How did I do? Sometimes you slip to get a grip. Understand that sometimes you slip to get a grip. It's not a justification to give in, but just understand that sometimes you're going to do good for a week, give back into vice. You're going to do good for 3 weeks, give back into vice. You do good for 6 weeks, give back in. And eventually you'll get to a point where you don't want to do anymore, and you'll go months, if not years, without the vice. Okay? To understand that sometimes you will slip to get a grip, and that's okay. It's not a justification to give into your relapse and be like, it happened, but just understand that sometimes you will slip. All right, so best tips to cut out this vice completely. Number one, why do you want to quit this vice? You got to remember your why. You got to remember why you're doing this, because in those moments of weakness, you remember the why. That's what's going to keep you going. That's what keeps you going throughout bodybuilding, throughout, committing to a year of bodybuilding. This is tough shit. This is hard shit. I got to meal prep. I got to do cardio. I got to do 5 days of lifting. I got to be easily adaptable to things, and it's a big commitment. It's almost a full-time job. I gotta have meals at certain times, and I gotta have specific meals throughout the day. And I'm making it a little bit even harder on myself, but just going bland foods, no energy drinks, chewing gum. But this is hard shit. And if I didn't remember my why I'm doing this, to build the discipline, to build the character that I want, that can get me the things that I want in life, to serve as an inspiration for my clients of, hey, I'm doing this, you guys are doing this, but I'm doing something that's 10 times harder. Trust me, if I can do this, you guys can do it too. If that's my why behind it. And if I don't remember that why, if I don't have it in my present moment, I'm deeply emotionally connected to my why, it's so easy to quit. It's so easy to quit the routine, so easy to go back to bad habits if you don't remember your why. What happens if you don't quit? That's the second question you need to ask yourself. The first question, the why, is the positive benefits of quitting this vice. The second question is the negative effects if you don't quit, because sometimes we're motivated by pain, sometimes we're motivated by pleasure. Pleasure is the why, the vision. Pain is the anti-vision, the pain. What's going to happen if you don't quit? What's going to happen if you keep smoking weed, keep drinking alcohol, keep the vapes up, keep eating junk food? You're never going to get into the dream body you want to. You're never going to get into your dream health. You're never going to have your dream levels of energy throughout the day and be productive and do the things that you want to. You're never going to feel like you're in control of your life. You might sit down at 60, 70, 80 years old if you live that long. Another one, you might not live a very long quality life. And you might sit down at the end of it and think, dude, I was controlled by these vices for so long. I tried to quit and I kept giving in to justifications and excuses. And I was merely hollow of what I could have been. I never lived up to my potential. Like, those things are painful to think about, but you need to remember that. If I keep doing this vice, it will bring this negative effect. Number 3, action-based self-talk. We talked about this. Did you cut out the vice? Did you do the right action today, this week, this month, compared to last month? Have positive action-based self-talk that rewards the action, okay? You didn't give into the vice. Like, say with nicotine, say it's so hard to go a day without it. Well, can you go the first 10 minutes of the day without it? Then 15, then 20, then 30, in an hour. And then you reward yourself in that moment throughout the next week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Dude, I went a day without it. This is great. Amazing. I went 2 hours without it. Amazing. Fuck yeah, let's go, bro. If I keep this up, I'm eventually going to get to 24 hours without this thing. And then 48 hours. And then 72 hours and so on. Reward the right action. If you're taking baby steps towards the right direction, you need to reward yourself. Your environment, set up your environment for success. Your friends, the content you consume, this is all the same thing. It's your social environment, it's your physical environment, it's your mental environment, your emotional environment, everything around you. Is it setting you up for success? Do you wake up and the peanut butter that you keep giving into, do you put it on top of your fridge, or do you put it in a cubby in the far corner, or do you even go so far as throwing it out? Do you drive down the same roads to work that's right by Taco Bell and right by that smoke shop, right? How can you change up your environment? Think about your environment on a day-to-day basis, what you run into, how can you set it up for success? Because I guarantee you, if you clean your car compared to have a messy car, you think differently. Your life just feels more organized. It's easier to take the next organized action. It's like cleaning your house or cleaning your room. Everything just feels nice. Your life feels much more clear. Structure, guidance, accountability, setting weekly goals, having morning routine, having a daily and weekly reflection, and creating structure around it instead of I'm trying to quit. I'll do my best to quit. I'll go down, maybe I'll drink a little bit less. Maybe I'll smoke a little bit less. Maybe I'll eat less food. No, dude, that's why you suck at this thing. Quite frankly, that's why you can't quit. It's just so up in the air. And then 3 days in, you're like, well, I never set a solid habit, so I don't have anything solid to stick to, so it's okay if I give into justifications here. No, it's structure, it's guidance, it's accountability, it's the morning routine, it's the daily and weekly reflection. Your daily reflection and weekly reflection should have your top 3 goals that you need to knock out today, whether it's your fitness, building muscle, losing body fat, cutting out these vices. Your top 3 goals yesterday. How would you rate how you did on your top 3 goals yesterday? What happened and why did it happen? You bask in the regret of those things that you didn't do. If you gave into a craving when you shouldn't, if you ate the food when you shouldn't, if you skipped the gym when you shouldn't, you bask in the regret, you let yourself feel regret about it, and then you celebrate the wins. That's it right there, man. It's the structure, it's the guidance, it's the accountability, it's the morning routine, it's the daily and weekly reflection. This is it right here. If you go through his timeline and understand what to expect as you move throughout the next 100 days, the next week, the next month, the next 100 days, the next year of quitting your vice, if you understand that what the self-talk is, self-talk, how it's important, how to have the right self-talk, how to correct the negative self-talk, you use this guide on how to learn from your relapses. You actually do the actions necessary. You sit down and you create a game plan. You bask in the regret. You come back to this video when you need it. You follow these best tips. You actually do the action. You will be on your road to cutting out the vice for good. The problem is, dudes will do this for a week, a month, and then go back to skipping the reflection, skipping the morning routine, listening to justifications, listening to excuses, hit a stressful moment, lose their momentum, and then give back into it. All you have to do in those moments, if you mess up, or if you're feeling a moment of weakness, you just come back to this video and it will speak the belief into you. It will course correct you in the right direction. Or you reach out to me personally at Coach X Ali on Instagram. Talk to me. I want to help you out with this. All right, without that, best of luck. You got this. You fucking got this, man. I went from 195 pounds, extremely shy, couldn't speak to a camera to save me, binge eating, addicted to nicotine, addicted to weed, addicted to other stuff as well. I'm not proud of mentioning. Porn, laziness, procrastination, mindless scrolling social media, to someone who doesn't even do those things, who wants to level up his discipline even further and is cutting out all seasonings, all syrups, and just going to a bland whole food diet just to further his own discipline. So if I went from all the way here to all the way here, you can cut out these vices, man. You just stay on track. You don't give up. And if you mess up, sometimes you slip to get a grip, and that's okay. Just come back to this video or hit me up. Let's go.